says no one should dictate to youths what to do, has Kenneth Okonkwo part ways with him, claiming he lacks leadership capacity. Presidency addresses demands of protesters, says they are largely unrealistic, and later on the show, Atiku support group urges President Tinubu to address the nation, reverse some policies. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and making a debut, Celestina Area.
Thank you for having me.
So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with efforts by some government officials to boost food production and alleviate suffering of the people. Agricultural activities in Benue State have received a boost following distribution of about 4,000 bags of fertilizer and irrigation equipment to farmers to enable them to go into large-scale farming and achieve food security in the country. At the distribution of the items in Makurdi, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, explained that the federal government is striving to reduce the hardship being faced by citizens. Let's share the story by TVC News Mayowa Okwato with you.
This is a gathering of associations ranging from market traders, Okada riders, students' union to several others. They are here to voice out their position on the planned nationwide protest. Speaking on behalf of Benue youths and President, Nigerian Union of Benue State Students, as well as a retired civil servant and market women who also spoke at the occasion, says they won't be part of the protest, giving their reasons.
I beg you in God's name, we the Benue youths, we say no to any protest.
Benue State students, we are not part of any protest.
Members of the Benue State House of Assembly who spoke through Boko East representative at the Assembly and the House representative member for Kwande Oshongo Federal Constituency called for more patience and understanding with the administration.
We join our voices to the others to say Benue State House of Assembly calls on the generality of the Benue citizens to distance itself from the planned protest.
We want to assure our youths that we, the members of the National Assembly, are doing everything possible to support Mr. President to move Nigeria forward.
The Water Resources and Sanitation Minister appealed to Benue people not to be part of the planned nationwide protest being conversed by some people, saying President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was aware of the challenges facing the country.
All the Benue leaders have come together to say they are behind Mr. President. They are in support of Mr. President administration. They know it is not easy. I have not forgotten the sad memories of the NSAS that took place some distance past. And because of that, they are saying dialogue.
The minister, who later distributed fertilizer and irrigation machines, says they were to make agriculture attractive to encourage farming to make ends meet.
Jide, is this not tokenism in the midst of what we have now, or a little drop of water you believe makes mighty ocean?
For me, anything that will ease the pains on Nigerians, I will never go against it. Rather, I will praise this minister for going home at this time. It's not the agric minister. He's the minister for water resources. But you can see that he's gone out of his brief. He stepped out of his own responsibilities to go down to his state of origin to try and ease the pains on people by distributing fertilizers, distributing grains, and then getting the message across that at this time, what we need is dialogue. We don't need to protest. That's basically what he has done. And I know that some other elements in this administration are doing that. They are reaching out to young people. They say, look, you don't need to protest. Some of the issues that you come up with are being addressed. I think that's basically what the Minister of Water Resources has done.
So, a lot of people will say the federal government, as a big brother up there, and they've been trying to make sure that this thing cascade down. But the state governments, when it comes to the state governors, that they've not been pulling their weights across their states. That's why we've not had this thing. And the local governments, the closest one to the people is in comatose.
Well, I would say the state governments need to do more and need to up their game. As for the local government, we really cannot say much about them because it was just like
almost non-existent before
early
now.
this month they gained their freedom, I would say. But for what the Minister of Water Resources has done, it's commendable. But one will begin to question why at this time. Is it a short-term solution for a long-term problem? Will it solve something
sustainable?
Yes, because people are asking for long-lasting solution to a problem. But by and large, it is commendable. But for the state governors, they need to ensure that the people get what they deserve. It shouldn't get to this point where people are not agitating for protest, which is their right, we all know. But so far, so good. Now that the local government is coming on board, hopefully when they start getting their allocations, they will be able to develop their wards and their councils. So the government will now be brought directly to the grassroots. And some persons say it is a way to kind of restrain the powers of the state governor. For me, that is not the case because we have 3 tiers. So now local government will commend the president, I must say that, because it is a move to ensure that everybody is involved.
To be more effective.
Yes.
Deal with the people directly.
Exactly. So these issues of unemployment, food will be addressed.
All right. As tension mounts over planned nationwide protests, Nigerians have continued to express divergent views on the matter. In the wake of the ongoing agitation for the protests, the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, that Peter Obi, endorsed the protest as legal, but pleaded that those who are protesting should do so within the law and in a civil manner. He also urged security agencies to manage the situation within the ambit of the law. Meanwhile, the situation within his own party that's becoming more precarious. A chieftain of his party, that one of his major supporters and even a spokesperson for the last campaign, that's Kenneth Okonkwo, has parted ways with Mr. Obi. According to Okonkwo, Obi does not have the capacity for leadership of Nigeria. Judy, let's start from this Kenneth Okonkwo thing.
Why do you want to start from Kenneth?
Yes, I really don't get Kenneth Okonkwo because I read his epistle yesterday and I was trying to just make sure that I can situate it. It was as if he was expecting Obi to act outside the law, act outside the thing after the election thing, but he just refused to, go against the law. As a result of it, you're a weak man. From my own interpretation. If you read that letter, I was like, now he was talking about direction to the Labour Party. And when it comes to the Labour Party, and Mr. Obi has been so very, very circumspect. And I don't think he wants to make the headache of Labour Party's headache. He's saying that he prefers to nurture that obedient group in any political party, not necessarily that Labour Party. It was just a vehicle for last election.
Yes, he wants Peter Obi to be very definitive, to take a stand, a clear stand on the leadership crisis in the Labour Party. But Peter Obi, it's difficult to know where he stands. Many people have said, Peter Obi does not want to see Abure. But his actions do not show that. And Kenneth Okonkwo knows that he has the clout, he has the support base to try to seize control of the Labour Party. But he continues to skirt and dance around the problem. So that is what frustrates Kenneth Okonkwo about this matter. Kenneth Okonkwo and some people are fed up with Abure. But they believe that as the presidential candidate of the party, Peter Obi is the leader of the party.
Yes.
you know, and is the one who should, he wields the influence, he has support base, is the one who should actually take the party by the jugular, make some very consequential statements that will show that, yes, the obedient group, which is seen as the largest group within the party, wants to take complete control of the party. So he does not like the fact that Peter Obi is extremely diplomatic and polite in the way.
Doesn't put his feet on the ground.
No, at a point.
NLC was fighting Abure and everything. We didn't know where he belonged.
Although he didn't show up at the convention, but he has not said anything to suggest that he wants to bring down the roof. He has not said anything to suggest that he wants to go it alone or go carve his own faction within the party, or generally take control of the party, using the resources, using the clout at his disposal. So that is what frustrates the guy. And before now, he had been grumbling, he had been complaining. So I knew that his days were numbered. I knew that.
Don't forget, he was a member of the APC before.
Yes, and
before he moved to the Labour Party.
The way he campaigned for the party, the way he worked for the party, he was the one always going to TV stations to abuse Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, he went on one of the TV stations in this country, and some of the things that he said, if we indeed had a regulator, that channel would have been punished for the kind of words that he used. And the anchor
looked away.
Could not restrain him. His eyes were blazing at that time. He was saying a lot of things. He was so passionate. He was so, you know, passionate about Peter Obi and about the party. But frankly,
his expectations were not met.
When you hear some of the allegations made against Abure, a lot of people within the party are disappointed. Allegation of forgery, allegation of corruption, allegation of substitution of the real candidates with other people, and the monetization of Labour Party primaries and all that. These were things that they were complaining about. And within their own party, they see these things happening. And they see it not just happening, they see the leadership not doing anything to try and make the Labour Party stand out, you know, in terms of its moral strength, the party's moral strength. So I will not blame him. There are some people who can't live with some of the things that we gloss over. So I do not blame him. It must have been very painful for him to leave the party in the circumstances that he left it. But I think it's also a lesson for him. What was he thinking about? A party made up of many people who left the PDP. Some angry people left the APC. Were you expecting it to be smelling like roses? Were you expecting it to look like the best political party in the history of our country? No. You can see what transpired in the National Assembly when they were sharing those jeeps. The party told its National Assembly members not to receive jeeps, but they ignored them, and they even talked back at the chairman to say, "Come on, it is our right." So some of those things must have really frustrated Kenneth Okonkwo. For me, I'm not surprised that they took this turn.
Peter Obi and Alex Oti yesterday.
Yes.
I saw that interview, and Peter Obi was like, "Look, it's between it's their rights to come out, but they should do it orderly. They should do it within the ambit of the law." And Alex Oti is saying that no, that the downward trend didn't just start from this administration. That if anybody wants to come out and protest, must get a police permit. From the same party and speaking, they were standing.
You see, that's the beauty of democracy. We all must not agree, but one thing is sure: we must follow the rule of law. Peter Obi is a Democrat. He contested in the last presidential election, and he lost. The right thing to do, he went to court, and the court did not see reasons with him, and someone else got the vote. But now he understands that yes, it is the right of Nigerians to protest. But that protest should be done in accordance with the law. So for Alex Otis to say what he says, I don't really understand.
He's a governor.
Because
he's a governor.
he
doesn't want...
This country is at a very delicate point. We should refrain from inciting violence. I understand that a lot of issues have been raised in terms of things that is going on. People are not happy, there's hardship, which the president has saying that they are trying to address and they are working on. But one thing is for sure, you will not come out and incite people against a government that is constitutionally elected. No, that is wrong. And these are the things that the government is trying to address.
Jide, I sent you a visual earlier and we saw what happened, why people are saying that, look, that this might not work. That yes, in as much as it is their right, it is people's right to come out to exhibit their displeasure at any given time, but it's a difficult thing to implement in Nigeria. In terms of, you can see what you and I or Yalo said yesterday, that the ShopRites in Lekki, it took like 3 years after before they came back. Look at, I didn't know Agusoya, but it's almost that I showed you.
And as I said yesterday, a lot of our people open these big shops, big supermarkets and department stores without insurance. So if you set the place ablaze, you have ruined their lives.
Finish them.
And you have taken many people out of jobs. Because the next day they have no job to do. You are complaining about unemployment. You are complaining about so much agony in the land. But if you go around destroying people's means of livelihood, destroying people's shops, because this thing is like a contest between the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots are frustrated, they are angry. They visit their anger on people's shops, people's hard work.
That's the opportunity to come out.
They go and loot.
That's the problem. That's
the one who will carry. The one who will carry a blender will carry a blender. Yeah. The one who will carry a bread toaster will carry a bread toaster. Yes. They go
AC. Remove the AC.
When they attacked Access Bank premises in Shagamu, this pumping machine, they removed the pumping machine. They stripped the place completely bare. They are the ones suffering because the bank will be reluctant to go and reopen the place. Now you have to travel all the way, maybe to Ijebode, to enjoy banking services. So people, the people who set ablaze, I saw the videos of, what was it called? The burning of those buses. Yes. Those high capacity, BRT. When you did that, it wasn't Buhari that you are punishing. You are punishing the masses because they bought them for the masses. Sanwo-Olu doesn't hop in BRT bus. You will never see Tinubu or his wife inside the BRT bus. It is meant for the people who want cheap transport.
Internet,
cheap transport.
Just make sure that you
feel like, and then you destroy.
65,
so
50.
The truth is, when Peter Obi said nobody should dictate to the youths, I wonder what he meant, because sometimes I listen to him and I get confused. They are telling the youths that, look, if you want to protest,
people will use.
You have to let us know where you want to start the protest from. The police said that it's in line with best practices. In the UK, they jailed people who were protesting the other day and they blocked the roads. They were jailed 5 years. So they talk about, there is freedom in all those places. Oh, go and try and protest in the UK and block the road. And see whether you will not go to
use your own rights to infringe on other people's rights.
Of course, because somebody may actually be ill and they are trying to take him to hospital. And then you go and block the road. They jail them now. UK here. They should fact check me. They were jailed. So, but if it does not augur well in the US, or in the UK, must it then augur well here? No one is saying don't protest. Peter Obi must know that, saying that they should not dictate to. They are telling the young people that, look, don't do it this way. The procession, we need to know where the procession starts. Who are the leaders? We've seen from NSAS that when you don't have a leader for a protest, everybody becomes the leader. The little boy who went and killed a DPO in Lagos and started wearing his oversized uniform. He too assumed at that point that he was a leader.
Anarchy.
Yes, because how do you have faceless people
nowhere to control?
Start a protest? That protest will not end well because
a lot of
you know the way the mob operates. The mob does not listen. One person who probably is suffering from insanity does something strange. Others will just join him. That's the end. That's not how it should be. If you say you want to do a peaceful protest, if you are not out to achieve an inordinate aim, then do it within the law. We are in position to tell them that, look, don't do it this way. During NSAS, I supported the NSAS protest because I hated the fact that policemen were killing people. But we told them, don't block the roads. Even if you want to block the road, leave one lane at least for people to pass. You will have made your point. They didn't listen. Our people must learn, even if you want to copy protest, copy where they've done it successfully. In Kenya, they didn't say every day. Now these ones are planning to do protests for 10 days. In Kenya, they said 2 days, just 2 days in a week. So that people can go to work and earn a living.
Celestina, can we go through this again?
Well, I would disagree a little bit with Babajide. For me, you can protest the whole day of the year. The law says so. But when you are doing that, do not infringe on the rights of other people, which is blocking the roads, burning tires. If you decide to carry placard and sit on the road, you don't interrupt traffic going or coming, nobody will stop you. Ends such protests, a lot of lessons has been learned. And we recall what the IG said, IGP of police, what he said was the name of the leaders. He never said the names of the protesters. He just said leaders.
So let me face to it.
Yes, let there be a face and a name to it. He says your numbers, tell us the route you'll take and where you converge, so we can protect you.
Yes.
One can protect you, so we can also protect the property and lives of other citizens who decide not to protest and are going about their various duties. And he also said that, oh, now come and tell us how you intend to ensure that this protest will not be hijacked. While some people have the intent to protest genuinely, others are just there for mischief.
Okay.
Their intentions are not genuine. Their own is, let protest start, we infiltrate and cause mayhem.
I will burn down. It's even clear
Some
that
persons
this
are not covered.
protest, the goal is regime change.
And it's not possible.
Regime change.
Just
If you are saying,
Yes.
no, because they've seen where protests led to regime change.
You cannot copy and paste. This is not Kenya.
But it did not even lead to regime change in Kenya.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. In Kenya, they said, okay, 2 days of the week. It was a popular protest, and it delivered dividends.
Yes.
2 days of the week, we will protest. But on those 2 days, we'll make the protest wholesome.
Yeah.
Not anki. No. 2 days of solid protest. But because people need to make money now.
All right. Okay, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more.
Coleman wires and cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
Hello everyone, my name is Umnia and I'm 21 years old. I'm currently in Sudan and I make videos as someone who's still living in the war. This is probably the hardest video I will ever have to make because it's the anniversary of our war. It's been a year of ruthless violence, a year of death, a year of an apocalypse. No words in any dictionary, in any language, can ever be able to describe the horrors that we have seen and experienced and continue to experience to this day. Over 10 million people are displaced. 25 million people struggle with acute hunger. And death is, I don't even know how many people have died and how many people are still dying. But let me paint an image for you. Migratory birds have changed the route so they can come to Khartoum and feed on corpses. Khartoum, my city, my home, where I lived for 21 years, have become a haven for dogs to breed due to how many corpses are.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Experience information and entertainment like never before as TVC Breakfast takes your weekends to a whole new level. Introducing TVC Breakfast Weekend Edition, your ultimate source of thrilling sports updates, insightful political analysis, and captivating entertainment news. Stay in the know with what's trending, catch up with the latest in sports, and immerse yourself in the latest buzz from the world of music and movies. Your weekends are no longer. The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
President Bola Tinubu has announced the total removal of fuel subsidy.
The fresh subsidy is gone. What I will never take is threat.
Let's now bring you more development from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News. First with breaking news.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, reaching you from our studio here in Abuja, capital of Nigeria. I still have BKO in the studio, and Celestina Area is making her debut. All right, it's no longer news that a nationwide protest is in the offing. But what remains fuzzy are the demands. Some of the demands surface across many platforms. The presidency has reacted. The presidency admitted that some of the demands are far from realistic and very unrealistic. This includes calls to restore subsidy and revert petrol price to 100 naira per litre, resignation of Mr. President, implementation of 250,000 as the new minimum wage, scrapping of the Senate, among others. But how feasible are these demands in the face of current challenges in the country? Jide, this is suggesting another thing. When you look at the demand, I thought it was about inflation being 34%. It was about 130 million Nigerians living under poverty line and everything, the cost of living. I thought it was all about that. What is this? Scrapping Senate, the president should resign?
You know, they included some really laudable initiatives or demands. They said, like, establish, that's number 11. It's actually 14 demands. Establish a special energy fund immediately to drive massive corruption-free corruption-free power sector development. I can never be against that.
Okay.
Reforms of security agencies to stop continuous human rights violations and duplication of security agencies and enhance the physical security of Nigerian citizens. Fantastic demand. I support it. Massive investment in public works and industrialization, which will help employ Nigerian steaming youths. Of course, I support it. Massive shake-up in the Nigerian judiciary to remove cabals or corrupt generations of judges and judicial officers that continue denying everyday citizens access to real justice. Good if we can do that.
No, for that particular demand, I have something to say about that demand.
Restructuring of Nigeria to accommodate Nigeria's diversity, resource control, decentralization and regional development.
These are long-time things. These are things
restructuring of Nigeria, I support it.
So you want to restructure?
Probe past and present Nigerian leaders who have looted the treasury, recover their loot, and deposit it in a special account to fund education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Good demand. Invest heavily in education and give Nigerian students grants, not loans. Aggressively pursue free and compulsory education for children across Nigeria. Good demand, but they are already doing some of those things.
Yes.
They are already doing some of those things. So, but they then said, okay, pay a minimum wage of nothing less than 250,000 monthly. Nigeria, we cannot pay a minimum wage of 250,000. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally and demilitarize the Southeast. There is no way that the government would want to release Nnamdi Kanu. I've always demanded for Nnamdi Kanu's release through a negotiated settlement, but not without conditions. Because if there are no conditions, you then wonder what lessons have been learned.
The conditions will not be the terms of settlements.
He has to renounce armed struggle against his country.
Yep.
But he never said he's going for armed struggle.
No,
that was
if he was calling on people to go and fight, if he was telling people to take up arms,
and describe.
Are you going to tell me that IPOB was not killing people in the Southeast? They were killing they were killing security men.
Yeah. But we to understand that now they are not factions of IPOB. That is what he's saying.
No, at the onset,
at the onset,
struggle,
even when there was
struggle,
one group,
do you understand?
Yes.
Some of his rhetorics were like
Nigeria
that of somebody who wanted to wage war against his
country.
Otherwise, nobody will have gone to say they want to.
So you don't listen to him.
No, I'm not listening to him.
No, don't listen to him. The Kano, the one that went to court, the one in court now,
is different from the one that was before.
You spoke with in open court.
Yes,
has really changed.
That one that you had an exclusive interview
with him.
Yes.
No.
Was it not on his own that he said, okay, we are cancelling sit at home?
Yes.
That's a change.
So to put it on paper.
And I'm for his release.
Yes.
But there has to be some things put down in black and white.
Yes. And he said he's ready.
So that's what we're talking about.
So now
political solution.
Yes.
So that Latif Agbemi will now enter a nolly prosecution.
Yes.
And they will discontinue the
charges.
Yes. Because the state
it's no big deal. But you cannot say without conditions. Then if you are saying demilitarize the Southeast, that means you are saying withdraw the troops and other people in the area. Then that means the free for all for those
he said the moment he's released, it won't take up to 2 days. All those things will be resolved.
No, that's mere grandstanding. The thing now is beyond him. Criminals have taken over. Cultists are enforcing. If, as popular as he is, he said, from today, no more sit at home. And they refuse to listen. They are still killing people over sit at home. Yep. That's to tell you that they no longer obey. People like Simon Ekpa,
have you forgotten?
And his
in
people,
Finland,
they don't want to hear Nnamdi Kanu. There was a program that we did where I was calling for Nnamdi Kanu. Do you know that they were abusing me? I did issues with Jide.
But
and they were abusing me. His own people. That means they are divided now, and their approach, the approach to the problems in the Southeast are not the same.
Not the same, true.
Those guys still believe in the use of force. Nnamdi Kanu at this time is speaking like a man of peace.
Yes, it's calling for peace. But I think effort should be made to get Samuel Ekpa to come and answer for the crimes he alleged to commit.
Repatriation to get him back from Finland, and you know now
it can be tough,
especially in that citizen
country that he is.
Yes, true.
Do you understand? So it takes, but other demands, scrapping of an arm of the national.
No, one of the demands is about the judiciary.
The judiciary.
Yes. So, are you against that, for example?
Well, being objective is very simple. I don't see any cabal in the judiciary. I don't. For me, the judiciary, to be sincere, they are
there is corruption. There is a lot of corruption.
There's corruption everywhere.
And we are saying that there's corruption in the judiciary.
Sorry, can you prove that? We can't prove it.
No, they put corrupt judges on trial by themselves.
Yes, that's right.
If NJC has
a body.
They have to check and balances.
You know, NJC has put them on trial in the past.
Yes.
And even indicted some judges.
Yes.
That is to tell you that even they too realize that they have a problem.
No, that's the truth. In every organization, if you don't have checks and balances, you cannot control what is happening. The NJC is there, is checkmating them. We have the LPDC.
The NJC is the only body.
Yes, we have the LPDC. There's also checkmating lawyers.
Yeah.
And I think 2 months ago, the NJC took a stand against some judges, barred them from promotion, from going to the higher court for 2 years. One of the judges is in Abuja, one is in Delta. So I wouldn't say that there are no issues, but to come out and say that judges are corrupt, no.
A lot of people even see that arm of government as the most organized for now.
The truth is,
corruption is everywhere.
What you see black and white on social media,
it's not judges alone.
It's not the way it is. It is when you enter the courtroom, you will know that there's more to this issue than what you read on social media. You say, this judge don't go collect money.
No, but I also know that if judgment goes against some people,
no, judge, of course,
they will not even look at the points of law. They will say,
remember the 2023 presidential election case now. So Ariwola was said to have been seen in London. Why was
the man was in mosque? Man went to mosque. He went to Moscow.
If you had read that evil judgment that gave Uzodinma his mandate, you understand why they said someone that came out fourth became the first. If you read the body of the judgment. So not that it wasn't a case of someone that came out third.
I think that's why they took their time in 2023 for the 2023 election to read it for hours.
Yes.
So that Nigerians will understand.
And they made sure that the press was
because
there.
What they said in that particular judgment, let me make reference to it, that you do not cancel election at the State Collation Center. It should be, if you want to cancel an election, cancel it at the polling units. That was what happened.
And that means the state rec has no power.
Just like the Adama guy attempted to
the returning officer.
So what happened was his votes were cancelled at the collation center, not at the polling units. So the court said, no, you can't do that. The court added those votes back. So that was it. But people don't know.
Well, referendum is not known to our constitution.
Again,
but people keep asking for referendum.
Maybe you want to continue
on
to
the basis of what?
Yes or no?
To be in Nigeria.
Yes or no? That you want to continue with this country, or you want to go with
a provision for referendum. And you keep making demands. It's part of the demands.
For dual citizenship.
But the referendum.
No, I'm talking about the
they're calling for referendum.
They're calling for referendum. There's no portion of that of our constitution.
There's no provision for that.
Is provided for. So I think as we go on, I won't be surprised if they increase the demands, just the way the NSAS people did. They increased the demands at a point when they felt, we are waxing stronger. They increased the demands and then said they added Buhari must go.
That was the.
It was not there before. They were asking for police reform and all that. At that point, a lot of people wanted to support them.
The police, they should take them to psychiatric hospital before integrating them and everything. No problem.
They even did that.
No problem. But at the point when they started asking for regime change, it became political.
Regime change is the extreme. And also calling for the scrapping of the constitution. I don't understand how that would work.
Then if you scrap the constitution, who would then rule? That means you're asking for military rule.
Exactly.
Anarchy.
Because the constitution
you're
is
asking for Kagame kind of this. People don't know. There was a Nigerian who went to Rwanda and was using the internet to say some rubbish about Kagame. Within minutes, they broke into his
and picked him.
Hotel room. It's not like Nigeria now where you can say anything about the president. If you abuse Kagame, if you are not careful, even if you are in a foreign land, they will go and waste you there. So sometimes people don't even know what they ask.
Comes with price.
Because at the end of the day, you won't be able to use the internet the way you want. All of these influencers and other people rely on the internet to make money.
Yeah.
If the military comes, they are not going to allow you to use the internet to be abusing them.
Okay, we'll be right back after this breather. Stay with us.
Old soldier never dies. What is the matter with old soldier?
This pensioner's verification will finally kill old soldier. Eh? See his condition. Just imagine the stress from the last verification.
You have not heard about the pensioner's verification application. Eh? No hassles. My daughter did for me from her smartphone.
Eh?
So simple. All you need is your national identification number or driver's license. That's all.
Go to the Google Play Store for Android phone users or App Store for iPhone users on your mobile device and search for Military Pensions Board. Download the application named MPB Verification and follow the instructions for your verification with the Military Pensions Board in 7 easy steps.
Old soldier never dies. No retreat, no surrender.
Thank you for joining us. The Yoruba people of the southwest Nigeria have a saying that on the death of the elephant, various types of knives will surface. We have such a situation on our hands as various suggestions fly around over how to handle the looming protests. On its part, a support group for the presidential ambition of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the Nigerian Youths for Atiku, told President Bola Tinubu to address the nation and reverse some policies to ease tension about the planned protests. The group insists that it is the right thing to do in the face of the current hardship in the country. Jide, on the death of an elephant, many souls will emerge. You
know, I really think the president should address the nation, and I'm confident that he will address the nation. I'm very confident that he will do that, so that people don't
want to be assured, want to get assurance.
Yeah, so that people don't say, "Oh, he's not concerned. He's aloof." You know, he's been held hostage and all that rubbish. This is not a president.
As we're talking now, the
that anybody can hold.
Meeting is going on. So
this is not a president that anybody can hold hostage. To say the president has been held hostage is a stupid thing to say. I'm sorry to use those words. Because this is a man, Tinubu is a man who exercises his right to his opinion, to his views, even as president, as a governor of Lagos.
That's why I said
my friend was his speechwriter. And many times Ashwaju will not use this speech. He will speak from his heart. So this is not a person. You may say that, yes, you did not have access to him. But the moment a person becomes president, access becomes limited.
Difficult.
Don't kid yourself. Access becomes limited. But that's not the same thing as saying that he's been held hostage. By who? In this government, who is the person who can hold him hostage? A man who is so opinionated. Look at the decision that I took today, for example, that they should sell crude oil to Dangote in Naira.
Yes, immediately.
Led for the NNPC. That will not happen because the royalties, the profit, the rent, everything in that oil sector is denominated in dollars. So the NNPC will feel, oh, I will have issues with recovery if I have to now sell to you in dollars. I mean in naira. But the president has taken a decision. He has taken a decision. So at the end of the day,
it's like a marching order.
Yes, he said go and do it. That's why the president is in position to take such decisions.
It's the Minister of Petroleum.
It will certainly hurt the NNPC. But the decision has been taken. So now I believe that the president can look at some of his policies. Because as I've said before, if a policy is not working, you have to tweak it. You have to take a second look at it. We are not going to be slaves.
Like, are you talking about the removal of subsidy?
No.
Going back
no.
to that regime?
You know, what I felt we could have done was a phased flotation of our currency.
Okay, that other component.
Phased flotation. Not to do the flotation at once. No. That is what put us in the situation I found. I said, you should have done it in a phased manner, and then ultimately,
and to put the two of them together
immediately. At the same time, you remove the sub because there was certainly forex subsidy. You took it away in one fell swoop, and then you floated the currency, and then decided to go and match up with the black market rate because you wanted to put an end to arbitrage. You said, let us go and meet them where they are. Initially, it was 900 naira to $1 now. Do you remember? After the removal of this thing, after the floating of the naira, it was 900. But we then decided, okay, let's go and meet them to discourage the
black markets.
Yes. And those times we had situations when even the official rate was higher than the black market, was lower than the black market rate, which encouraged many Nigerians. But for me, we should have taken those steps little by little. If you ask me, they are not undesirable, but to do them at once, and once we did them, we then had the problem of diesel price, for example, going up. Now we found ourselves paying subsidy again in another guise. Subsidy that we removed from source because of the devaluation of our currency. The landing cost is almost 1,300.
Yeah. I can't afford to sell it. Anything be in that range.
Nigeria, we do not even take tax from PMS. Many countries of the world take as much as 63% tax on PMS. Yes. We cannot afford it.
But did you agree that this move that you said ought to have been done in phases is what the ripple effect is what we are experiencing now in terms of food price hike?
Yes.
Honestly.
Because we are not a producing nation per se, we are a consumer nation.
So now how do we go back to buying yam for the normal 2,000 naira as against the 9,000 and the 10,000 naira?
The cost of diesel is a big factor in the food inflation that we are facing, because the cost of transportation is high.
Because if you really look at it, this protest is about that hike in food prices.
But a lot of people are making it to look as if it's something else by this demand. If we are just sticking to this hike in prices, I'm telling you,
there's a political side to it.
No,
and people are,
that's what we're saying. That
money
is just about hiking. Inflation,
and your money is being spent to mobilize people for protest.
Yes, and to demobilize people too.
Yes, and I agree with you.
And to demobilize people too, both ways.
Of course, now it's a battle of two elephants now.
I agree with you. The president.
Because if we don't do that, you know where it will end up.
True, because you only know how a protest will start. You cannot tell how it will end.
Yes,
but the president needs to address us. It's due.
So
if it snowballs from
Nigerians will know that he means well for us and
yes,
for us.
And you know what I'm looking forward to? If he addresses us, he should be able to make some far-reaching decisions.
Yes.
And of course, make some consequential decisions, as they say in the courts. You know? So consequential orders, consequential directives
to be carried out.
So that can give people hope that yes, this president is not just sitting there, he wants to take some steps to help us to solve these problems. I look forward to that.
Hopefully before the 1st of August.
Yes, I know the president could be on the eve of it, but I'm certain that he will
talk to Nigerians.
He will talk to Nigerians. Nigerians are waiting.
Okay, the mention.
And I'm happy that the NCC gave an order to the
Yes,
MTN.
for that SIM.
Because that thing was
just an
causing
embarrassment.
tension.
I'm telling you.
You know, it makes many people to be angry.
Just to
it will have worsened the protest.
No, it's something that happened at the wrong time.
Yes.
But notice had been sent out to subscribers for them to link their SIM.
But the tension that it generated was what made them
stop people queuing all over the place.
Yes.
I want to thank you, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Thank you. And Celestina, thank you.
Thank you
for the rescue job. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us every Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Zubaku. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Closer to your champion.
Stay connected for every medal moment from the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Get closer to your champions with Supersport on DSTV, the home of entertainment.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. You're watching ShopX TV, home to some of the most popular international brands in Africa, including Gotham Hammered Collection, Genie Bra, Bionic Floodlight, Spot X, Total Crunch Evolution, and more. And we are now proud to introduce our biggest offer of the year, the ShopX Mid-Year Sales. Yes, from now until the end of July 2024, we will be offering our customers 20,000 Naira off this amazing kitchen collection. Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen? The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear.
Good evening from Lagos, everyone. I am Nifemi Oguntoye, and this is Beyond 100 Days. We begin with breaking news tonight. President Tinubu has thrown a lifeline to Dangote Refinery, and it's considered a game changer for the economy. The Federal Executive Council today adopted a proposal by President Tinubu to sell crude to Dangote Refinery and other upcoming refineries in Naira. Now, this means stable fuel prices, less pressure on the Naira, and of course, billions saved from importing fuel. Dangote Refinery at the moment requires 15 cargoes of crude at a cost of $13.5 billion yearly, and NNPC has committed to supply 4. The Federal Executive Council also approved that the 450,000 barrels meant for domestic consumption be offered in Naira to Nigerian refineries using the Dangote Refinery as pilot. The exchange rate will be fixed for the duration of this transaction. In the Federal Executive Council meeting attended by members of the Cabinet and the leadership of the National Assembly. The President's assent ends months of deliberations between government authorities, labor unions, and the private sector. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, led the National Assembly delegation to the signing ceremony. And the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has backed the calls for a nationwide protest, but stressed that it must be done peacefully. Mr. Obi, who spoke with when he paid a courtesy visit to Governor Alex Otti of Abia State, says it's important that the protest holds within the confines of the law.
Within the Nigerian Constitution, protesting allowed. All I plead for those who are protesting is to do so within the law and in a civil manner that allows us as a nation to show that we live within the law. You know, everybody knows the things that are difficult. I always say, when they talk about sponsors of the protest, I say the sponsors are very simple. It's hunger. It's hopelessness among the youths. So we all have to listen to what Nigerians are going through.
The problem we find ourselves in the country today is economic. And will I say that we are actually paying the price for bad governance that didn't start today? People should think about the implications of pouring out on the streets, restricting movement of other people, and possibly inflicting harm and more hardship on the people. For people in Abia, my advice is that people should not pour out on the streets because it may be more hurtful than the protest that the reason for the protest that people are calling for.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners has cautioned its members against participating in actions that could undermine the federal government. NATO President Yusuf Othman emphasized that the association will not support any protest but to engage in dialogue with government. He urged NATO members to remain focused on their professional responsibilities and avoid being influenced by individuals with hidden agenda. President Bola Tinubu has been appealing to organizers to call off the protest, assuring that his administration is committed to alleviating the economic difficulties facing Nigerians. And now to party politics. The All Progressives Congress in Enugu State has suspended its state chairman, Ugochukwu Agbala, and other executive members over alleged anti-party and acts of abuse of offices. The aggrieved members of the State Executive Committee passed a vote of no confidence following the allegations of anti-party activities and abuse of office. Reacting to the incident, Southeast Chairman of the party, Ijeoma Arodiogu, claimed the group are no longer members of the party, having been suspended months ago for alleged anti-party activities.
Our decision is predicated on series of acts of abuse of offices, usurpation of power, creation of factional executives, unconstitutional removal of party executives, execution of projects for the party without following due process, instigation of crisis in the party, in some local government, etc., committed by the named officers against the party. Since the confirmation of Honorable Ugochukwu Agbala as the state chairman of the party, he has been running the affairs of the party as if it is his personal business, without any regard to the party's constitution. He doesn't want the party to grow. So what else can we do than to save the soul of the party? We are the people at the grassroots. It's not him.
He sacked members of our party at his will without following party constitution, which is killing our party members, creating parallel structure of the party. In various local government, if he discovers that he is not happy with you, he will set someone aside to form a structure and remove you. It has been his culture. He has chased a lot of people who could have helped this party to grow.
We will not allow the party to die, because if the party dies, automatically we will disappointed our grassroots members. So that is why we stood on this, so that Ugochukwu Agbala, as state chairman, has to go for us to salvage our party.
Let's dive into the issues facing the APC in Enugu State. I'm joined by two stakeholders who know the situation on ground. Afonso Zonwafo is the party's acting chairman in Enugu State, and Vincent Chinyene is legal advisor and chairman of the APC Disciplinary Committee. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the program. I understand that the acting chairman will be joining us subsequently. Let's begin with the legal advisor. Talk to us about what happened during this meeting that led to the suspension of the previous ESCOs and then leading to the appointment of individuals in acting capacity.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes, go ahead, please. Talk to us about what happened. Mr. Agbala and other executive members, we understand, were suspended over alleged abuse of offices. There were also accusations in the past about allegations of high-handedness and what have you. What do you think is playing out at the APC in Enugu State?
What is playing out is quite obvious. Is the handwork of mischief makers and those who felt threatened by the opposition of APC, and specifically the chairman of the party in the state, especially the PDP. It's obvious that those people that came out to the television or publicizing the suspension are those who are compromised, those who are brought over to cause confusion and distraction to the party in Enugu State. It's obvious that what they did is quite illegal, it's quite unconstitutional. It has no place in APC constitution at all. If they claim to be members of state executive committee, before you convene a meeting of a state executive committee, there are laid down procedures in the constitution of APC. There must be notice to every member that is entitled to attend that meeting. The question is, did they give any notice to anybody? Answer is no. And in the composition of state executive working committee, you have the state chairman, you have the national officers, you have the zonal officers, you have the working committee member and the assistants and others. The question is, the national deputy chairman of the APC, which is Enugu, is from Enugu State. We are aware of the meeting. The answer is no. Another question, we have a representative as the Southeast zonal organ of the party. Was she aware of the meeting? The answer is no. My very self here, who is the legal advisor of the party, was I aware of the meeting? The answer is no. Then where is the capacity of God to convene the meeting?
Well, you're not talking about the fact that about 15 of the local government APC chairpersons were present at this meeting.
Even if they are, do they have the competence? Under the APC constitution, the zonal executive committee, which is Southeast Zone, has the jurisdiction to entertain complaints and allegations against any state executive. Was there any petition written to them? Was there any petition investigated by the relevant organ? They have no competence of such, they have no such power, even to convene and conduct any meeting.
Talking about petitions, Mr. Vincent, talking about petitions, the suspended chairperson has been accused of being autocratic and that he ran the party as his personal business. There have been calls as far back as April by the former chairman, Dr. Ben Nwoye, who called on party leadership to wade into the crisis rocking the party in the state. If you also check some details here, there have been condemnation about how he allegedly suspended prominent party stakeholders like the former Senate President Ken Inamani, former Governor Sullivan Chime, there is former Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Udin Ojo. Ginika Tor was on this program in March, also venting about how poorly she's being treated by the leadership of the party. Are you saying you're not aware of all of these concerns that have been largely publicized earlier on in the year?
Those people you mentioned that we are suspended from the party, they were suspended for anti-party activities that we are duly investigated. There were petitions to that effect. There were video clips of their conduct to that effect. A conditionary committee was set up to that effect. They were notified of the petitions against them. Only that they failed to appear before the disciplinary committee. There was a fact-finding committee set up, which investigated and made a frame of attack case against them. So they weren't suspended in vacuum. They were investigated and found culpable. suspension. But in this case, was there any petition made? Was the petition served on those alleged to have committed those offenses? Was there any disciplinary committee set up? The answer to them are in the negative. So you can't just jump up and say that you are suspending somebody. You have to follow the constitutional provision of APC as laid down in Article 21 to that effect. And the jurisdiction of the organ are clearly spelled out. If you have any complaints against a state chairman or members of the state executive, the right organ to investigate and to mark out the necessary punishment is the zonal, Southeast zonal organ of the party. So the people that paraded themselves in the television are mere mischief makers.
Well,
there are people of integrity. Some of them were suspended from the party.
The issue of
actions in the party.
Mr. Vincent, the issue of anti-party activity is your word against theirs. Guinea-Kator came up with videos of us supporting the president during the election. He challenged the party executives at the time to release their own videos of how they openly supported the president or otherwise in the last election. But, you know, the concern is that APC performed very poorly in 2023 in Enugu. How does suspending the stakeholders within the party's strategy to move forward in order to be able to do better in the following election? But we're going to talk more about that in a minute, right after this break. Stay with us, everyone. Well, attention is turned to Enugu State, where APC there appears to be in some crisis with the emergence of certain party executives now in acting capacity. Legal advisor of the APC in Enugu State and chairman of the APC Disciplinary Committee, Vincent Cheyene, is my guest on the program. Afonso Zawamfo is also expected to join us, hopefully before the end of this program. Mr. Vincent, thank you for staying the course on the program. There are a lot of conversations as to the weighty allegations that have been brought against stakeholders within your party prior to the suspension of the former chairman against the federal commissioner representing Enugu State, and quite a number of them. A lot of people have said it's embarrassing for a party that have performed so poorly. But I also understand that the acting chairman himself, Afonso Zawamfo, has now joined us. Mr. Nwafo, thank you for joining us. Mr. Agbala and other executive members, we understand, were suspended over alleged abuse of offices. But the allegation that has been made in the course of this program is that the committee did not follow due process in suspending them according to your party's constitution. How do you react to this? Because you emerged through that process as acting chairman.
Such an allegation is laughable. When you have the state working committee, we have 17 local governments in Enugu and 14 local governments chairman signed against the sitting chairman, and the secretaries of local governments as well signed with other state working committee members. They have a lot of, maybe 2/3 majority of the state working committee and the SEC members. So one should not believe such laughable adoption of not following the constitution. We are not that.
Tell us more about what happened at that meeting as regards why these executive members were suspended and why a new leadership emerged.
Actually, the party under Honorable Ugochukwu Agbala, I would wish to say this, that Ugochukwu Agbala as a person is a good man. He has a good intention for the party, but I think with bad applications. So a lot of people has been expelled from this party without following the constitutional laid down rules and regulations. Every day you hear, suspend this man, suspend the other person. And you are aware that Enugu here, as APC Enugu, has former governor Enugu State, Governor Sullivan expelled. Former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Onyama, expelled. Former Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ken Namani, expelled. And a lot of other party stalwarts. For what reason? That not enough, the local government chairman are not well treated. People who have been constituted, the constituted authorities in the party, in the state party, have not been allowed to exercise their duly recognized constitutional authority. So, and the constitution is not being followed the way it should be. So a lot are angry. A lot of people are angry about this. That is why they need to make a change of the leadership.
Mr. Vincent, you heard the acting chairman that your position that that the due process wasn't followed is laughable.
Yes, I'm really laughing because Alphonsus Waf, I don't know who made him the acting chairman. This is my first time of seeing and hearing that he's the acting chairman of APC. Who made him the acting chairman? In what occasion was he made the acting chairman? In what forum? I know APC Enugu State is going to conduct their stakeholders meeting tomorrow. Let him come there and put himself as the acting chairman. Can you act as that? Can you be the acting chairman in your room, in a hotel room? It's evident that these people are mischief makers, and they were compromised. So they were bought over to do this thing against the state of APC in Enugu State. Obviously, all the allegations they are leveling against the chairman are unfounded. They are false. The problem with the chairman is that the PDP in government in Enugu State is not comfortable with him. Last time he made a press conference condemning the demolition going on in Enugu State. He condemned the rate of taxation being imposed on poor, wretched people in Enugu State. And PDP are using these people to foment trouble in Enugu State. It's unfortunate that they should allow themselves to be used against APC. So, Ugochukwu has proved himself in every facet of leadership in Enugu State. He has shown that leadership by example. Since he came to power in Enugu State, there is a change from the grassroots. If you are in Enugu State and if you are online, you will see even those people he's claiming that are his supporters associating themselves from what they did.
Well,
from the local government, from the
just a minute, Mr. Vincent, because Mr. Wafo is hearing you, and Mr. Vincent seems to be questioning the credibility of your office as acting chairman. I was thinking you will respond to him.
Of course, I would respond to him. In due time, the credibility will be before him, and he will understand what credibility means. Because at this point, I would wish to say that he failed to understand that verb, that adjective, credibility. So in due course, he will see the meaning of that word, credibility.
But are you concerned about the division within your party? And is that priority for you as acting chairman?
Yes, I'm concerned about the division in the party because as a party, we should do a lot of things as people who have come together, who have belonged to a political party. And the aim, the objectives of a political party is to win elections. And since the inception of APC in Enugu, we've not won even common councillor seats. And we got the least vote in the presidential election, the last presidential election. So now, what is the name that should be given to APC in Enugu? We answer APC on paper, but in practicality, we are not. It is better we put the record straight.
Before your appointment, which is now being contested, you were Zona Vice Chairperson Enugu West Senatorial District. On this show in March, Ginikator did say that APC in Enugu is moribund, good as dead. How can you revive your party with this division, and what do you think you can do differently this time?
Okay, there is an Igbo today. There is a very common parlance in Igbo that says, that means that a tree cannot make a forest. That is why we have called for a unification of the members, of the real members of APC. We need people inside this party, not expelling people. People should come together. Yes, we have our different political affiliation, religious understanding, and the social, whatever you can think about. But we must have a common cause of unification, not expulsion. They are expelling people from the party and now handling the party as a private property and as a private organization. We have a lot of evidence showing to this fact.
So we have to leave now, but quickly, Mr. Vincent, you've been talking about due process, and some would say that the suspended chairman did not even emerge through a Congress, and there are a lot of conversation as to, has your party been following due process from day one? How do you think that can be improved on moving forward?
That is the fallacy. Somebody who is presiding over the chairmanship of the APC in Enugu State, somebody alleging that he didn't pass through the Congress. How then did he emerge? A Congress was conducted in Enugu State to the knowledge of everybody, to the knowledge of INEC and knowledge of even the party officials. For somebody to allege that he didn't get his chairmanship through Congress is a fallacy.
But what do you consider? What do you consider the way forward?
The question is why? It was because of more like them in the party that we are sabotaging the party, and that's what Ugochukwu came and tried to uproot them one by one, so that the party will have a clear course.
Mr. Vincent, beyond the brickbat and calling up names, what do you consider the way forward for your party in Enugu State moving forward?
The way forward is that they should have a change of heart. They should stop sabotaging the party in Enugu State. We have good leadership, but some of them are Moors. And unless and until those Moors are able to find their own party, if they don't like APC, let them go out. We have so many political parties in Nigeria.
But it seems they have, it does seem that they have the backing of the national headquarters of your party. But that's our time, Mr. Vincent. We have to continue this conversation subsequently. Acting Chairman, let me get your closing remarks in this regard.
Okay, I thank you so much for this meeting, so to speak, or this interview. To put the record straight, we are not here fighting for anything but fighting for justice, fighting for equity, fighting for the obedience to the Constitution of APC, Enugu State, and APC, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Therefore, I at this point want to encourage all at sundry. Join the moving train. Let us move ahead. Let's do things together. There is no need for division, because a house divided with each other cannot stand. This is the time for us to continue and make APC a better party in Enugu State.
Afoso Sowafo is the party's acting chairman in Enugu State. Vincent Chiyene says it did not emerge through legal process. Is the legal advisor and chairman of the APC disciplinary committee. We're following that story in Enugu State. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us this evening. That's our show, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.
Ahmed Tinubu, do solemnly swear.
When shippers groan under the weight of ceaseless charges that tend to throw them off balance in the sector, Nigerian Shippers Council promptly comes to their rescue.
We will all of us work together as a team to move our country and indeed Shippers Council forward.
To get justice done without the money for any charges.
It's Tidbit, the world and the first to break the 24,000 TEU mark.
Allah Illan Dry Port is born again. Finally, the eagle has landed.
The essence of a dry port is to decongest the port and make
Satan, Jesus exposed him, the thief cometh not, but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I am come that you may have life and have it how much? More abundant. I prophesy as your amen is coming like thunder. Whatever is yours, receive it now.
Hello, NAVDA Impact lovers. We have good news for you. In the quest to keep Nigerians abreast of the happenings in the digital space, NAVDA Impact, a flagship TV program of the National Information Technology Development Agency, is now showing here on Television Continental. It is, as always, educative, informative, and innovative. NAVDA Impact. Keep a date with NAVDA Impact, your guide to a digital Nigeria.
And welcome to NAVDA and Your Health, that program where you get to know about the relentless efforts of NAVDA to ensure that only wholesome food products, standard and quality drugs, and other regulated products under the agency's control are made available to the Nigerian public. My name is Amanda Ugo. On this edition of NAVDA and Your Health, the first segment will feature highlights from the Business Day Intervention Series, a forum organized by the Business Day newspapers where stakeholders in the Nigerian economic development vision meet to exchange ideas that help to promote the development of the economy of Nigeria. At the forum, the NAVDA DG, who gave the keynote address, among other issues, gave a detailed trajectory of how NAVDA, under her leadership, went through the process of transformation that has repositioned the agency to what it is today. The constitutional responsibility of NAVDA as an agency that ensures that food, drinks, and other consumables, as well as medical devices and chemicals made available for the use of the Nigerian people, are best quality and standard, has also bestowed the obligation of playing a vital role in contributing hugely to economic development and transformation. These are roles the agency, particularly under the leadership of the current Director General, has significantly and quite evidently played over the last few years. Part of the strategies adopted by the agency is identifying, collaborating, and forming synergies with relevant stakeholders to advance the joint cause of economically developing and positively transforming the Nigerian nation. This open-door policy of NAVDA to collaborate with organizations of common visions was also what brought about the partnership of the regulatory agency with the Business Day newspapers and, of course, the involvement of the agency in the 2024 edition of the Business Day Intervention Series. The series is a forum where stakeholders in the Nigerian economic development vision meet to exchange ideas that help to promote the development of the economy of Nigeria. The 2024 edition of the series, held on the 5th of July, was a keynote speaker, and in her keynote speech titled Strong Regulatory System, Governance and Leadership, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye explained the trajectory that saw her making the now visible transformation in NAVDA since she took over the mantle of leadership at the regulatory agency.
I happened to go through a university where I spent 21 years as a professor. And upon getting to that university, I didn't know that they were almost bankrupt in the US. And the president of the university, who came just 6 months before me, the new president, said that he has looked at the books of the university and that everybody in the university needs their brains washed. So we started brainwashing by going through training, quality management system training, for 2 years, focusing on the customers. Our customers in the university are the students. Everybody must down their tools, whatever they are doing, and head to the union building for the weekly brain washing. How to put your customer first. How to put your customer first. How to do proper documentation of what you are doing. How to digitize your processes to make it transparent. We did that for about 2 years. I did not know that I was being prepared for NAVDA. This was 1989 and fast track to 2017. So that is 11 plus 17, 28 years. So when I got to NAVDA, I knew that our brains have to be washed also. Why so? Because we deal with 220 million people, customers. We deal with manufacturers whose investment depends on what NAVDA does. We deal with children. We deal with pregnant women in terms of the medicines that they take. We deal with all of us in terms of water that we drink, the food that we drink, or we take rather. So we started quality management system in 2018, January or February, 2 months after my resumption. And we went through that training, and we attained ISO 9001-2015 in 2019, ISO 9001-2015. Since then, we've been recertified every year. We became a self-auditing agency, meaning you look at the mirror, say, how do I look? Do I have pimples here or where? How do I treat it? If I treat some things this year, some other things may come up next year. Then you look at the mirror again, we need to do another self-auditing. So we've been doing self-auditing since 2019. And we have been recertified ever since.
Professor Mojisola Adeyeye went on to talk about the creation of a disciplined and motivated workplace.
Who is a leader? A leader is somebody that is self-aware, who has self-awareness. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? A leader is somebody that will look at the strengths of the followers or the key followers and tap on the strength and realize that the followers may also have weaknesses. A leader is somebody that is not afraid to be unpopular. If you are looking for popularity, you cannot be a leader. The first day I met with directors. The same day I met with the union, because NAVDA was always on strike, from what I was told. The staff were not treated well, and you cannot have staff that are not motivated and you think you're going to achieve anything. You can love your staff, but you have to also discipline them, just like, raising up children, because we are all fallible. So you use one hand to spank them, another hand to caress them.
According to her, some of the strategies she adopted were the increase of the agency's directorate from 13 to 26 for effective management and easy operations, the decentralization of the food registration, making it possible to register food products in zones, clearing the huge debt of about 3.2 billion naira she met an assumption of office in just 1 year, and clearing how not to owe debt subsequently, cutting down unnecessary traveling expenses by embracing virtual meetings through Zoom to manage funds, which of course became very helpful during the COVID-19 pandemic, streamlining lines of report through 8 coordinating directorship and the introduction of quality management systems, as well as ensuring transparency and accountability.
Thus far, we have invested from our own revenues. We have 2 revenues. One is what you call internally generated. One is user fees, what people pay us to do X, Y, Z. We have used more than 6 billion naira on our laboratory, and we have not finished. Still ongoing. I mentioned vehicles are not luxury. 140 vehicles, we are not done yet. My vision is to have 3 vehicles per state based on senatorial districts. 3 times 36, 108. Then we have the technical departments. We have the post-marketing surveillance. We have the enforcement. And you know for enforcement you cannot ride Okada. So this is just 140 vehicles. It's still a drop in the bucket. All this reorganization to unlock the economic value chain, because once you control the quality of what you are regulating, there's high confidence with the manufacturer, with the consumers. They will have sustained trading. All this led to us getting maturity level 3, recognition by WHO in 2022. Only 30% of agencies in the world have maturity level 3. I mentioned that we kept improving our laboratories and we're still ongoing, but the Central Drug Lab in Yaba was recognized as WHO pre-qualified laboratory in 2023. Only 11 laboratories in Africa have this recognition. Why is this so important? If you don't have a good laboratory, you cannot have good result. If you don't have good results, it means we are gambling with our clients. We are gambling with the nation, and we are not. So we needed to ensure that our laboratories are well equipped, well staffed. We are still in the process. The maturity level 3 we got is not one-off. Meaning is WHO will keep checking on us. They are coming in November to check whether we are maintaining it. It is money that we use to maintain. It is staff that we use to maintain. But like I said, we are now self-auditing agency, SOP-driven organization to identify our strengths, our weaknesses as we move on every year. We conduct, of course, that's essentially what it means, internal benchmarking. As a roadmap for successful assessment. They are coming in November to look at where we are. Because our journey is towards maturity level 4. Our journey is after maturity level 4 is world listed authority. And what does that do economically speaking? When we have maturity level 4 and world listed authority, products that we approve, medical products that we approve after that date can be traded globally. That is how important quality is to trade. In terms of construction or construction of state offices, why we are doing it to ease doing business, and also for our global benchmarking. All these are tied together. Why is WHO doing global benchmarking? It's tied to trade. If you don't have good regulatory system, you cannot have good quality. If you don't have good quality, on the short run you may be able to trade. On the long run, everybody will know, yeah, oh yeah, it's coming from that country. You better don't touch them. So we've had, we have about 26 projects. 4 has been commissioned in terms of state offices. 5, maybe 7 now completed. 9 are ongoing, and there are 8 new projects. Why? Because the environment that you live in determines your psyche or influences your psyche. If our staff gets to an office where the chairs are tattered, the tables are falling off, the customers coming in to see tattered chairs and bad environment, it affects the psyche. And our staff spend 8 to 10 hours on the job out of 24. It is extremely important for them to feel comfortable, but more important is our clients.
Other areas the NAVDA DG mentioned as being instrumental to her monumental success are market control, development of the Nigerian pharmaceutical sector,